We show you the all-new Volvo V60 Cross Country. The lower part here of the Cross Country features those plastic fenders, and I think they really do fit the car. You also get a special unique front grille, and then you can see you get those LED headlamps from standard equipment, and they have those Thor's Hammer LED daytime running lights. 4.76 m, 15'6" or 187 inches is the length of the V60. Of course, the same for the cross-country variant, and this is 14 centimeters longer than the predecessor generation. Pretty interesting, because that will majorly change the rear legroom, I can promise you so far already. And then you can see the cross-country, or CC, just to have the short abbreviation, has those crossover wheel arches in plastic. It already comes with 19-inch rims, look pretty massive. Also, the car is 6 centimeters higher from suspension. That leaves us then with a ground clearance of 21 centimeters. We have the contrasting chrome roof rails right there, and a very sensual design here with those shoulders strung with this design line. The rear perspective here with those beautiful daytime running rear lights, vertical and horizontal stress. This is also new in this generation here, that is a little bit slimmer as for the head, for the tail lamp unit as well. And well, the Cross Country gets again special badge right here, also with this stamped in name. I think even from the rear, to me it's really a very, very beautiful estate here in this CC look. Then I can maybe also excuse that those ones here are just fake exhaust tips, the real exhaust are on the inside. However, there's also no performance engine available anyway. And again, we have some more colors for you, such as black. Or what about a crystal white one? And this show car with the bike on top, this one is called Maple Brown. You get the top part against reflections dark, then the lower part in bright. I just love this color style for sure. You can pick different colors. As for the seats, by the way, there are also the so-called City Weave seats available for the V60. We've seen it in another review. We'll also link that one. That will consist of fabric and leatherette. Those ones here are the optional animal skin package, or also with the Cross Country edition. At least in Germany, the animal skin comes automatically. And that's, of course, not a really good choice. But they offer those City Weave option, which looks really cool and also gives you more climate comfort in summer and winter. Here at the moment, when it's cold, those seats are also very cold. You have to wait for the seat heating and so on. The steering wheel, I mean, it has a very compact size, that's for sure. Those buttons here, they are, rather seamlessly integrated. Left side is for the cruise control, right side for controlling the instruments, but it's really hard to do so for sure. You can see here, those ones are the digital instruments. And I can also start the engine and you can see everything of that. The menu system is a little bit hard to control, and you can see they also lag a little bit behind, so they're not so fast in the reaction time then. So when we as 1.86 m or 6'1", that's me, and there is still some headroom left, but it's getting quite close. You shouldn't be too tall, and also you see the A-pillar, due to this rather flat design, comes quite close. However, the seat comfort from the seat form is really great, top notch also with Volvo. I really love that, and I think read a lot of comments that a lot of you guys also agree about that. Interior overview, here again with the nice leatherette cover. Additional Bowers & Wilkins speaker right there that also visually looks pretty cool. And the central Scandinavian design, here again with those brushed aluminum style. This 9.2-inch screen is standard, whereas those 12.3-inch digital instruments, those are optional. And here the shifting lever, pretty easy to control. You just pull them all the way back. When the car is running, then you're in D mode. And this top part also with a nice cover, good build quality. You can slide it open for cup holders. The driving mode select is also very beautiful in the design. And then pretty much fixed and attached this armrest cover, and then you can put your smartphone in here, for example, for the Apple CarPlay connection. 2 USB supplies right there. And the good thing here about the new generation of the V60 is it has become longer, so you now have reasonable legroom in the rear. Well, those seats are still quite thick, and when you're in the lowest position, you cannot really put your feet underneath the seat, so you would need to lift it a little bit higher. That would be even better. But then you can see it still does fit with 1.86 m or 6'1". When you have the panoramic roof, you do lose a little bit of headroom. There's still enough left for tall adults, but if you're even taller, then you should leave out the panoramic roof. We also have a separate unit here for the climb if you want so. And you can also optionally get seat heating for the rear seats. That's pretty cool. And a real power supply here in the rear. That's also good maybe to recharge some laptops. You cannot vary the angle. And you've seen those head restraints, they automatically flip down. You should just always watch out that you don't get hit by them, because that can really hurt. And the liter figure, that's the theoretic one, 530 liters up to 1,360. This cover here is one of our main criticism points with this car. Well, you can put it open like this, but then it stays that way and it's not moving up and down automatically. And so often I forgot it in the top part, and then you can see nothing from the front when you're driving. You have to stop again. So I now tend just to do it like this and then leave it like this as it is. Then it's not blocking any view. On the diesel side, the D3 with 150 horsepower, a D4, that's this one with 190 horsepower. This one also the entry diesel for the cross country, because the cross country does not offer the very entry models. And both with front wheel drive or all-wheel drive, that is a front plus rear on demand system. And then the petrol side is T5, 250 horsepower front wheel drive. There's a T6, 310 horsepower all-wheel drive. Or then there's a T6 plug-in hybrid with 340 horsepower system power, or a T8 plug-in hybrid 390 horsepower system power. And the big question is, of course, we've told you earlier, there's a suspension change basically in the car, sits a little bit higher. How does that feel here for the new generation of the V60? And the first impression definitely feels good. So you feel that you sit a little bit higher, have a little bit better overview. It's not that you would have this typical SUV feeling, because this is a crossover, but it's just a little bit higher, that you don't have this typical mid-size sedan, typical mid-size estate feeling. But here on the motorway, I think it's also a good vehicle for that. There is not, too much shake-up or something. It still feels stable. Here at the moment, you can also see the blind spot monitor, one of the optional assistance systems. That's very well integrated, also I think in a very elegant way. The noise insulation here at 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour is also quite good. That's also one thing they massively improved from the last generation to this generation here of the V60. If you compare it to some older Volvo estates, you don't have the best overview anymore, because the design is more important nowadays than those real square dimensions. But still, it's quite reasonable. And the assistance system here with a blind spot monitor, you should definitely go for that. The autonomous emergency brake, that one is already included. That's good. And the ACC, you can go for optional, or if you click on the right button here and you also went for this top trim, there's also the so-called pilot assist, a semi-autonomous driving feature level 2. That means you always have to keep your hands at the steering wheel, but if there would be a traffic jam or something, then we could basically let the car drive. Again, we're supposed to keep the hands on the steering wheel at all times, but especially in traffic situations, you can more relax than the car does, the accelerating and braking, and also the steering at the same time. The automatic gearbox is doing a phenomenal job. It's one of my favorite ones for sure. You hardly feel that there's any transition in shifting the gears. really very well done. At the same time, you don't have any shifting pedals right here at the steering wheel, but you can put it here to the left side, then you can shift up or down yourself. Only strange thing, when I push it forward, it shifts up. When I push it backward, it shifts down. I still feel, we had it with a couple of vehicles, should be the other way around for sure. So here again, the steering feeling in those corners is not the best one. It is super easy to steer, and I also don't have to steer too much. But then again, this doesn't give me the best feedback. As for the consumption figure, we had this diesel also so far, and if you look at the consumption figure right now, it's just confirming it once again. That's one of the problems. They are actually quite high in the consumption figures usually, so you have to be, at least between 8 and 9 liters on 100 kilometers, and that's definitely too high, especially for a diesel engine. But overall, I think the V60 Cross Country made a very good impression, both on motorway and on the countryside roads here. Definitely a nice, comfortable car to drive and enjoy. I think the styling fits the car very well. A little bit higher crossover wheel arches, unique styling in the front. Do you like it as well? On the interior, especially this new generation of the V60 offers more build quality, even more refined Scandinavian design. And also, I think, good choice overall as for the options. But then again, as for the cross country, it comes automatically with some choices you might not want to go for, and then the price also gets higher. Most important change in this new generation is for sure the rear legroom. Because the car is a little bit longer, you have more rear legroom than before. Well, and as for the trunk, a little bit annoying with the cover. They should find a better solution for that. But still, the trunk space is very well usable and a very comfortable drive. This comfort suspension also works very well with that vehicle. It's also put a little bit higher. If you seek something between an SUV and a classic sedan or estate style, I think that's still a good offering. And this cross-country characteristic, also with the visual part, it somehow already has, something very special at Volvo because it already has a tradition there. So, thank you so much for tuning in today to Autogefühl. Please tell us your opinion about the new V60 Cross Country and also tune in next time.